concerned, we're just making our political stance public, and if that does any good, then good. If it doesn't, then, you know, what else can you do? I mean, I'm a writer and a singer. I'm not going to join the Labour Party next week.
Looking like a born again, living like a heretic, listening to Arthur Lee records, making all your friends feel so guilty about their cynicism, and the rest of their generation, not even the government, are gonna stop you now. But are you ready to be heartbroken? Are you ready to be heartbroken? You're pumped up full of vitamins, unaccountable of seriousness. You say that you're so happy now, you can hardly stand. Lean over on the bookcase, and if you really want to get straight, read Norman Mailer, or get a new tailor. Are you ready to be heartbroken? Are you ready to be heartbroken? Are you ready to bleed?
Unlike Sister Sledge, Lloyd Cole and the Commotions had their feet firmly planted on the serious pathway in '85. Formed in Glasgow 2 years earlier, their detractors claimed you needed a college degree to understand all the lyrical references. Lloyd himself never claimed to be a smarty pants, though.
I think I'm an artist of sorts, you know. I do a particular thing, which is write songs in a particular style, which is my own, and I have a particular place in the kind of musical spectrum these days. I'm quite, you know, proud about, I suppose.
Walking with Jesus and Jane, James in the turtleneck.
The thing that I don't like, really, there's an awful lot of people, especially like, I mean, I was very guilty of it when we first started out, of thinking that you're incredibly talented, when really you've just got a talent, you know, maybe not a very big one. Maybe you've got, you know, a small talent. And most people in pop music, if they've got small talent, tend to think it's a big one.
Be honest, have you ever been in a dressing room like this before? There's a jacuzzi, there's a sauna over there, there's a swimming pool.
You used to play for Red Wedge?
No, to be perfectly frank, no. This is somewhat more salubrious than what we used to.
Well, I think we're maybe in the wrong business. Maybe we should be playing football.
Do you think you should insist on this from now on?
Yeah. We'll only play football dressing rooms from now on.
Do you feel you've been adopted by Scottish people? You're a sort of, you were born in Derbyshire, weren't you?
I've been up here about 5 years. I think we'll probably find out in a few minutes whether or not I've been adopted. We've never played in front of this number of Glaswegians or Scots before, and we've only played in front of people that actually pay to come see us, so it will be interesting.
I've got a really terrible smile for photographs. That's why. I mean, I just never smiled in photos. I think people thought that must imply that, you know, I'm a miserable person. And also that the music we did, the subject matter was quite often misery and despair, but it was usually approached with a sense of humour.
In the late '80s, Lloyd Cole went properly solo, but sadly the pretentious polo neck-wearer tag still stuck.
Musically. But we were always recording in London. We did all our rehearsals, writing in Glasgow, and then we would come down to London because there was a greater choice of studios. And it just seemed to make sense for us to move down to London so that we could at least go home at night when we were in the studio. But London's, I don't think it's a very creative city. It never really has been in the last 15, 20 years. And for me, when I moved to New York, it was definitely a question of just getting out of London, going somewhere else. It took leaving the band and going away and making a record to find out whether I really was content with what I had become in the Commotions. You can't know that if you're in that situation and you've got no out. And so in many ways what I really feel now is, I mean, I cut my hair again, I look pretty much like the same person who was making records in '85, except it's a bit grey. I am actually, you know, the records that Lloyd Cole and the Commotions made are probably very close to the records that I would have made myself if I'd have been able to do so at that time, which is quite a nice feeling. But you can't find that out unless you depart from it. I still want my record to be liked by everybody. I feel pretty much exactly the same as I did in 1983 about the whole thing. And I don't want to become one of those people that say, oh, I don't read the music press, I don't care, you know, I just do music. And most of these people are liars, I'm sure. It does matter, you know, if I get a bad review, I get upset. And if I get a good review, I think, well, thank God.
She said, I have a lot of family requirements of my time, and I'm happy to give them, but I'm still getting used to not having the time on my hands to just sit around and read. At home, I usually read going to sleep, which is not really enough. This is Faust, Part 1, the great work by Goethe. This is what I'm reading right now. I bought it in the University of East Anglia second-hand bookshop, and it was something that I've been thinking about trying to read for some time, and I'm struggling with it right now. Basically, it seems to be a very sort of timeless metaphysical argument presented as a poem can play. The devil is trying to persuade Faust to live for the moment and enjoy things in a hedonistic way. And Faust is initially appalled by this. And I'm waiting for him to be won over, as I'm sure he will, because I did look at the end and he's in prison. I'm glad I stuck with it, because now I'm getting into the Faust travelling with the devil around the world. It's quite entertaining, but it's very slow. He seems like quite an amazing chap. Did you know that Goethe apparently had the largest vocabulary of any human being that ever lived? Some friend of mine got this book, The Greatest Geniuses of All Time, and Goethe comes in about 5. I think Da Vinci is number 1. Muhammad Ali was number 20.
Hello, this is Lloyd Cole, back again with 10 of the best according to me, and coming up is a fairly recent video by Nena Cherry and Yusun Do. This is called 7 Seconds, and I suppose you'd call this an art video. Hello, it's Lloyd again here with videos that I like. The next one is Bruce Springsteen, who I like very much indeed, and had been making quite bad records for quite a while until he did this one, so I was very happy to hear he did a good song, and I think the video for this is about perfect. This is, I think it's called Streets of Philadelphia as opposed to Philadelphia. Hello again, it's Lloyd, probably the only person in the world who has yet to see Pulp Fiction, but I don't get out anymore. I have a little boy. And Pulp Fiction's about 3 hours long, isn't it? So I never got a chance to see it. This is a video from it, and it looks like a good film to me. I chose this because I really love this song. It's a Neil Diamond song done by a fab rock group called Urge Overkill. This is called Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. Ooh. Hello again. It's Lloyd with the, well, that was 9 really fab videos, and here's one rotten one just to sort of even it all up. Bon Jovi, in my opinion, sort of, I don't know, running away with the title of worst video makers in the world right now, and this one is the worst one. This is called Always, and it involves a painter and a couple of chicks and a lot of angst and really just rubbish, but very funny, I think.